Let me ask you something honestly. When was the last time you walked into your home and felt true peace? Not just peace in the sense of, okay, it's clean enough. I mean that deep, quiet feeling when your eyes fall on the space and your whole body simply relaxes and you exhale deeply, where nothing is out of place like dirty socks on the floor, unwashed dishes, or a remote control. Nothing distracts your thoughts, and nothing makes you feel guilty about why this isn't tidied up. For many people, that feeling is rare. It might appear right after a big cleaning, but it only lasts a day or two before things slowly return to the usual comfortable chaos that makes you nervous. I used to feel that way too, especially when I came home from work tired and didn't feel like doing anything. For a long time, I thought it was just a lack of discipline and laziness, that I wasn't cleaning thoroughly enough or often enough. But the more I paid attention to how people actually live in Japan, to the homes I saw, the habits I noticed, the things my grandmother and mother did without thinking about them, the more I realized that the problem wasn't about effort and commitment at all. People in Japan who live in constantly beautiful, peaceful, and clean homes don't work any harder than others, no harder than you do. It seems weird to you. Is it even possible? Well, they simply think differently. They have a set of deeply rooted habits, many of which are so small and subtle that they hardly seem like habits, that make it almost impossible for clutter to take over. Today I want to share 10 hidden habits that Japanese people don't talk about. Not the obvious ones you've heard 100 times already. These are the deeper ones, which the Japanese themselves researched thousands of years ago and perfected, meaning those rooted in Japanese philosophy, in the way the Japanese have thought about home, space, and everyday life for centuries. Some of them will surprise, astound, and shock you. Some might even completely change the way you perceive your home. Let's discover those habits. Habit 1, Soji cleaning as a spiritual practice, not a punishment. Buddhist temples across Japan, the day does not begin with meditation, even if you might have thought so, nor with breakfast, but with Soji, communal cleaning. Every monk, from the newest novice to the oldest master, gets down on his knees and cleans. Floors, hallways, gardens, bathrooms. No music, no rushing, in complete, focused silence. And this is not considered an obligation or a punishment, as many of you might have just thought. It is considered a practice. It is treated with the same seriousness and intention as the seated meditation that follows it. Because in Zen philosophy, the act of cleaning is not separate from spiritual development. It is a part of it. When you clean with full presence, you are training your mind. At the same time, you practice mindfulness, humility, and care. Did you know that cleaning helps you solve problems you have? Rewind the movie in your head right now and remember if you were thinking about how to solve a problem while tidying your home. Am I right? Because pay attention to what follows and what I will tell you. Of course, I'm not asking you to clean your apartment every morning in monastic silence, but I want to offer you this shift in perspective because I think it changes everything. What if cleaning isn't a punishment for making a mess? Seems unbelievable what I'm telling you, right? What if it's not a task you have to do so you can do the things you actually want to do? What if it is simply a form of daily care? For your space, yes, but also for yourself. When you approach cleaning as Soji, as something you do with intention and presence, rather than something you do reluctantly when you can no longer avoid it, the quality of your cleaning changes. You are more thorough, you are more consistent, and most importantly, you are more likely to do it every day, because it no longer feels like a burden. Try it at least once. For example, tomorrow morning, set aside 10 minutes. No phone, no music, no multitasking. Just clean one part of your home with full attention. Notice how it feels when you're done. That feeling is called Soji, habit. 2, Teinei, the habit of doing things with care. Have you heard of Teinei? It's a Japanese word usually translated as polite or careful, but its deeper meaning is closer to done with sincerity and care. When someone in Japan describes a person as Teinei, they mean someone who does everything, no matter how small, with genuine attention and consideration. In short, someone who is diligent, And that's the person who will beautifully wrap a gift even when no one is watching. They will set the table properly even when eating alone. They will fold something neatly even when it goes straight into a drawer. This trait, Teinei, has a direct and powerful relationship with the state of your home. Here is why. Most clutter is not created by major events. It arises from 100 tiny moments of carelessness. You fold a shirt in half instead of folding it properly because you are in a hurry. You put a cup on the counter askew because you are distracted. You shove something into a drawer without organizing it because it seems enough that it's out of sight. Each of these moments is tiny, but they quietly accumulate, creating the clutter that greets you every morning. Do you agree? Do you do this? And be honest with yourself? Teinei asks you to raise the standard of your small actions. Not dramatically, not in a way that requires more time or energy, simply in a way that requires more attention. When you put something down, put it down properly. When you fold something, fold it properly. When you close a drawer, first make sure what's inside is neat. This is not perfectionism. Perfectionism is about external appearance. Teinei is about inner sincerity, doing things well because they deserve to be done well. Respecting the thing you are doing, not because someone might see it. Homes in Japan that seem effortlessly beautiful are usually the homes of people who are Teinei in everything they do. It's not magic. It is the quiet accumulation of 1,000 small actions done with genuine care. Habit 3. The rule of tokonoma. Design it one place for beauty. In traditional Japanese rooms, there is an architectural element called tokonoma, a recessed alcove in the wall, usually in the main reception room, which contains only one scroll painting and perhaps one carefully chosen seasonal object, a branch of plum blossoms in early spring, a single stone in summer, nothing more. Tokonoma is not a display of wealth or a collection of favorite things. It is an intentional act of curation, choosing one object at a time to which space, attention, and meaning are given. Everything else is put away so that this one thing can truly be seen. Did you understand what I meant? One thing, one ritual, and not 300 things in one room. I want you to apply this concept in your home in a very practical way. Choose one surface, just one, and treat it as your tokonoma. Maybe it's a small shelf near the entrance. Maybe it's the center of your dining table. Maybe it's the top of your dresser. Whichever surface you choose, commit to the following. At any given moment, there will be only 1 or 2 carefully selected items on it. Rotate those items occasionally with the change of seasons or when you feel like it, but never let that surface become a dumping ground for random things. Here's why this matters beyond mere aesthetics. The tokonoma principle trains your eye to spot the difference between intentional placement and unconscious clutter. When you have a surface that you intentionally and carefully maintain, you begin to notice more clearly when other surfaces in your home are not treated with the same respect. It creates a standard, a visible, daily reminder of what a cared-for surface looks like. Start with one surface, protect it, keep it beautiful and thoughtful. Let it be your anchor, your daily reminder of how your home can make you feel. Feel the positive energy coming from your home and transferring to you, instead of stress. Habit 4. Oteme perfecting your routines until they become effortless. Oteme literally refers to the precise practiced sequence of movements in the Japanese tea ceremony. Every gesture has its place and its movement. Every step follows the previous one in a sequence that has been perfected for centuries. The person practicing it performs this sequence so many times that it eventually becomes completely natural. The hands move without thinking, the mind is free, and the result is always the same quiet, beautiful order. After all, those movements are part of meditation. What does this have to do with your home? Absolutely everything. Think about the most chaotic moments of your day at home. They are almost always transitional moments. The moment you wake up, the moment you come home from work, the moment you finish cooking, the moment you get ready for bed. These transitional moments are when clutter accumulates fastest, because they are moments of movement and change, and without a clear practiced sequence, things end up wherever they happen to land. Otomai is the practice of designing your own sequences for these transitional moments and repeating them so many times that they become automatic without you even realizing it. Your morning sequence, your coming home sequence, your bedtime sequence. Not long, complicated routines, just a clear, simple sequence of 5 or 6 actions that you always do the same way. Wake up, open the window, fold the blanket, fluff the pillow, take last night's glass to the kitchen. That is the morning sequence. 30 seconds, but always the same 30 seconds in the same order every day. Come home, take off your shoes and put them away. The bag goes in its place, keys on the hook, jacket on the hanger, wash your hands. That is the coming home sequence. 1 minute, always the same. When your transitional moments are governed by a practiced otomai, clutter hardly gets a chance to enter. The sequence handles it automatically before the clutter can take root. Habit 5 Shitsuke. Discipline as an act of self-respect. In Japan, Shitsuke is one of the famous 5 S's, a framework originally developed for workplace organization that has since been applied much more broadly. A large number of companies nationwide have adopted it, and I believe you know their meaning. If not, those 5 words are siri, sort, seiten, set in order, seiso, shine clean, seiketsu, standardize, and shitsuke meaning sustain or discipline. However, the word shitsuke carries a specific emotional weight that the word discipline cannot fully convey. In Japanese, shitsuke originally referred to the careful basting stitches along the edge of a new kimono, temporary stitches that held the fabric's shape while the garment was being formed, keeping everything properly aligned until the structure became permanent. Applied to habits, shitsuke means the temporary effort you put in while a new behavior is still taking shape, holding it in place, maintaining direction until it becomes a permanent, natural part of who you are. This completely changes the concept of discipline. It's not about willpower. It's not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about the gentle, consistent support you provide to a new habit while it's still becoming part of you, like those stitches on a kimono, stable, patient, purposeful, and temporary. Because once the habit is formed, the stitches are no longer needed. The structure holds on its own. In practical terms, shitsuke means this. When you are building a new cleaning habit, say making the bed every morning or washing the dishes immediately after eating, don't think of it as a lifelong obligation requiring immense willpower. View it as a temporary period of gentle, consistent support. Maintain the habit for 30 days. After that, it will maintain itself. That is shitsuke. No force, no punishment, just patient, caring alignment. Habit 6. Hara Hachi Bu, applied to possessions. Hara Hachi Bu is a famous principle from Okinawa meaning eat until you are 80% full. It's one of the most studied dietary habits of the world's longest living populations, based on the understanding that stopping before you are completely full gives your body room to function optimally. Digestion works better, energy levels are more stable, and overall health dramatically improves when you never max out, whereas we do the total opposite. We even overeat and then feel bad. And here is the reason I mentioned this. It will make sense, believe me. Now, I want to apply this principle not to food, but to your belongings and your storage space, because I think it translates perfectly. In one of the previous ideas about the 30% rule, I touched on leaving free space on shelves and in closets. Hara Hachibu elevates this to the level of philosophy. It asks the question, what would happen if you never filled any space in your home beyond 80% of its capacity? Your closet, 80% full. Your bookshelves, 80% full. Your kitchen cabinets, 80% full. Your desk drawers, 80% full. That remaining 20% is not wasted space. It is functional breathing room. It is what allows things to be easily put away, without effort or frustration. It is what prevents overstuffing that then spills onto countertops. It is what makes your storage space exude peace instead of feeling cluttered. And what do? We fill that space so it's not empty. Remember the last time you opened a completely crammed drawer and tried to find something? Compare that to a drawer with a little free space in it. the difference in feeling and in how quickly organization is maintained within it is huge. Apply Harahachi-bu to every storage space in your home. Habit 7. Fukinuke. Let energy flow freely through your home. Fukinuke is a traditional Japanese architectural concept that describes the free, unobstructed flow of air and light through your space. In Japanese home design, special attention has always been paid to ensuring the natural movement of air through the house, through careful placement of windows and doors, avoiding unnecessary partitions, and thoughtful orientation of the home to capture morning light and natural breezes. Placing various decorations in their proper place so energy can pass through your home, but in the context of everyday life and tidiness, I want to apply Fukinuke much more broadly, as the idea that energy, air, and your own movement should flow freely and unimpeded through your home. Walk through your home right now, or imagine doing it, and notice where you slow down, walk around something, squeeze through, or hesitate, or maybe a part where you always step aside so as not to knock it down or bump it, that pile of stuff in the hallway you always walk around, the bags near the door you step over every morning, the chair that's a little too far from the wall and you always have to squeeze past. These obstacles are not just physical inconveniences. They are interruptions in the flow of your home. And over time, they normalize clutter. Fukinuke as a daily habit means clearing your pathways with the same dedication with which you clear your surfaces. Every pathway in your home should be completely open and unobstructed. Every door should open all the way, with nothing behind it. Every morning when you walk from the bedroom to the kitchen, the path should be clear and passable. There is something deeply psychological about a cleared path. When you can move through your home without obstacles, you feel lighter. Your mind isn't constantly registering small obstacles and minor clutter. And when your home has a good flow, you are more likely to maintain it, because small daily battles are no longer being fought in the corners of your mind. Habit 8. The Japanese relationship with the seasons: rotate, refresh, let go. One of the things that has always fascinated me about the Japanese way of living at home is how deeply it is organized around the seasons. Not just when it comes to food or clothing, although that applies too, but in terms of everything, and here's why. Objects in the home, fabrics, decorations, and even cleaning rituals themselves change with the seasons. In spring, there is a practice called usoji, a grand cleaning, where the entire home is deep cleaned as a form of renewal. In autumn, there is another seasonal reset, preparing the home for the colder months. In between, lighter seasonal transitions occur. Summer fabrics are brought out, winter ones are put away, certain items are brought to the forefront, while others are stored. This seasonal rhythm serves a function far beyond simple organization. It creates natural evaluation points, 4 times a year, where every item in the home is reconsidered. Is this still being used? Is this still cherished? Does this still belong here? The seasonal approach prevents the slow, invisible accumulation that happens when we never review our belongings. Most clutter doesn't arrive all at once. It accumulates over years, during which we never ask ourselves if something still belongs there. Create your own version of seasonal home rotation. At least twice a year, maybe in March and September, go through every part of your home with fresh eyes. What can be put away for this season? What was stored but is actually no longer needed at all? What quietly became clutter that you don't even notice anymore because it's been there too long? Seasons always give you a natural reason to start fresh. Use them. Habit 9. Omakase thinking. Trust your systems more than your moods. Omakase is a word most commonly associated with Japanese cuisine. It means "I'll leave it up to you," and refers to a dining style where you completely trust the chef, leaving your choices to his expertise and judgment. You don't order from a menu. You simply trust the system, and it takes care of you. I want to apply this idea to the way you relate to your own cleaning and organization systems. And I think it's one of the most underrated ideas in this entire video. Here's the problem with relying on motivation to keep a home clean. Motivation is a matter of mood. It comes and goes. Some days you feel energetic, and the idea of organizing the kitchen sounds satisfying. Other days, most days, honestly, you are tired, distracted, or just not in the mood. And on those days, if your only system is I'll do it when I'm in the mood, nothing will happen. Omakase thinking says, build your systems well and then trust them, even on the days you aren't in the mood. Especially on those days. When your morning sequence is established, you don't make a decision every morning whether to follow it. You simply follow it. When your nightly coming home ritual is set, you don't evaluate every night whether you're in the mood. You just do it. The system has already made the decision. You are just carrying it out. This is how Japanese domestic habits remain consistent for decades. It's not that Japanese people feel more motivated to clean than others. It's that the decision to clean has already been made, built into the structure of the day. So motivation is never the deciding factor. Design your systems carefully and thoughtfully, then practice omakase. Trust them completely, follow them faithfully, and let them take care of your home even when your mood wouldn't want to. Habit 10 Kansha gratitude for your home as the foundation of everything. Kansha means gratitude. And I want to end with this, because I believe it is quietly the most important habit of all, a more important foundation than any system, any sequence, or any technique. In Japan, there is a deep cultural practice of expressing gratitude not only to people, but to places and objects, to the home you live in, to the tools you use, to the space that shelters you and supports your daily life. This is not superstition. It is a recognition of the fact that your relationship with your home, like any other relationship, is shaped by the quality of attention and care you give it, and being grateful to it for providing you safety. Think about the people in your life you care about the most. You naturally want to do things for them. You notice when they aren't well. You make small efforts for them without being asked, not because you have to, but because that relationship makes those efforts feel meaningful, rather than a burden. Kansha asks you to bring that same quality of feeling to your home, not as a performance, not as a rule, but as a genuine practice of noticing and appreciating. Every morning before you reach for your phone and scroll through 300 irrelevant pieces of information, take 30 seconds and simply notice your home. The light coming through the window, the quiet before the day begins. The fact that this space exists to support and shelter your life, allow yourself, honestly and simply, to feel gratitude for it. When gratitude is your starting point, every act of cleaning and organizing stops being a chore. It becomes an expression of care for something that cares for you. Tidying leaves a different feeling. The attention you bring feels different. And the results are, in the long run, I've met many people in Japan who have spent their entire lives in very small, very simple homes, and those homes are some of the most beautiful, peaceful, and carefully maintained spaces I have ever been in. Not through one big grandiose move, but through the quiet accumulation of small, faithful efforts made every day. I hope this video brought you something useful and beautiful, maybe even something that will stay with you. Thank you very much. And I'm very glad you're here and watching, because this is obviously very important to you. See you in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye. Conclusion. So these are 10 secret Japanese habits that can truly change your relationship with your home, not just for a weekend, but permanently, quietly, and over time. Let me summarize them. One last time. Habit 1. Soji. Approach cleaning as a practice, not a punishment. Bring presence to it. Habit 2. Teinei. Do every small action with genuine care. Raise the standard of small things. Habit 3. Tokonoma. Designate one place for thoughtful beauty in your home and protect it daily. Habit 4. Otomai. Design practiced sequences for your transitional moments so that order becomes automatic. Habit 5. Shitsuke. Support your new habits patiently, like stitches holding fabric in place, until they hold on their own. Habit 6. Hara Hachi Bu. For belongings, never fill storage space beyond 80%. Always leave room to breathe. Habit 7. Fukanuke. Completely clear your pathways and allow energy to move freely through your home. Habit 8. Seasonal rhythm. Use the change of seasons as a natural, built-in moment to rotate, refresh, and let go of excess belongings. Habit 9. Omakase. Trust your systems more than your moods. Let the structure make decisions, not your motivation on a given day. Habit 10. Kansha. Start with gratitude. Care for your home as you would care for something you love. None of these habits are complicated, and there are only 10 of them. None require money, a large space, or hardship. They only require a shift in perspective, a willingness to view your home and your daily relationship with it in a slightly different way. And as with everything I share on this channel, I want to say, you don't have to start with all these habits at once. One is enough. Choose the one that spoke to you the most today and start there. Live with it for a while, make it your own, then come back and add another. That is how real, lasting changes happen.